You have taken some iconic photos of New York City. Why do you think you have not yet been exhibited at the Metropolitan Museum of Art?
Actually, it is known to certain people in the police department and also with the guards at the Metropolitan, but I have been exhibited there, or should I say, I've exhibited myself in with the other kind of nude statues because I don't think there's anything wrong with nudity in a public place.
Some people have criticized your photos as being too classically beautiful to be considered part of the street photography genre. What do you have to say to them?
Street photography genre. Um, I'm not sure what genre means. Genre, is that French? It's a French word, right? I don't speak French.
Well, what kind?
What kind of what?
Photographs.
What kind of photographs do I like?
Many of your fans have objected when you began to do color photography and then started digitally painting those photos. Do you feel that you have sold out?
Well, if you look around the apartment, you can see that I haven't sold out, but I did want to ask you what did you say you would pay me for this interview? Don't don't leave this in. Okay, thanks.
You are one of the few photographers who are managing to make a living selling photographs on the internet. What's your secret?
My secret is my secret. That's it. Cut. Except I will say one thing. The diagrams that were sort of hidden in some of the well, let's just say that the NSA doesn't really need to be involved at this point.
Do you say to people who insist that street photography is an invasion of privacy and somewhat akin to voyeurism? How do you know that the photo you have taken is a good photo?
Photo I've taken is good. Well, how does any artist know anything? I can say for myself, I have a very, very small ego, but I would like to believe that a photo is good if it is shown very large, extremely large, like enough to wrap around the entire United Nations so that everybody comes together in this world and feels peace and love because of one of my humble photographs.
Do you believe that the proliferation of camera phones and the social media is the beginning of the end of photography as an art form?
The end of photography. There is no end of photography. It's actually the end of the beginning. When photography began, nobody knew that there would be a beginning or an end, and we're really only in the middle. I would say it's like one day everybody will take pictures of everything that they do, and that will be the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning. I know that sounds enigmatic, but that's how I feel.
Would you rather be a poor during your lifetime and famous after death, or rich and successful during your lifetime and completely unknown?
My work belongs to the public, um, so I would like to be famous, not even famous, but just known. Maybe a footnote in the history of something after I die. And while I'm alive, money is not something that I think about, although I was wondering whether you could, the money for this interview could be directly put into my PayPal account or not. Um,
What advice would you give young photographers just starting out?
and you?
I do not know. I am not a photographer. I'm sorry. That's I asked the questions here. I asked the questions.
For young photographers, listen carefully. First of all, you're going to need a camera. It could be any kind of camera. It could be a cell phone or a camera or whatever they have at that time. You can never start too young. Personally, I've given them to my children who are about one and I think one is one, whatever. Okay, whatever they are, I forget. I don't see them that often. Actually, I don't see them at all. But the second thing is when you do get older, and I would suggest that for publicity, you go to Times Square, take your clothes off, and take pictures of the people who are coming by to arrest you. And you will do very, very well in this business.
What is your favorite thing to photograph?
That's something I really can't talk about. I don't want to talk about. I will say this. It does involve parts of the anatomy, but not my own anatomy. Actually, it's nothing that I can talk about. Hold on a second. Somebody's coming. I think I hear somebody. Oh, no, that's just nobody. Okay.
A famous critic once commented on your work. He said, I quote, Dave Beckerman has the uncanny knack of finding the beautiful in the ordinary. Unquote.
Yes, finding the beautiful in the ordinary. I would say ordinarily, that's exactly what I do. My ordinary job is to find beauty in the ordinary and to ordinarily find beauty in the ordinary. Sometimes I find it in, like in the garden, but that's ordinarily not what I would do. And I wouldn't even use the word ordinary. I would use cardinal, because there's the ordinal and the cardinal. And if they're two different ways of talking about numbers, and a lot of my work has to do with numbers. If you look at it closely, you'll see that you can tell how the photographs have been put together by whether I've labeled them with cardinal numbers or ordinal numbers. It's sort of like an opus. Opus 1, Opus 2. Mine are Cardinal 1, Cardinal 2, and also the Popes. I try to use the Pope's name as often as I can, and that's about all.